Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. Before we start today guys, I just want to briefly talk about the giveaway. So with respects to the giveaway, I've been asking for you guys' suggestions. Haven't really gotten a lot of feedback, but one piece of feedback that I did get that I really liked was the idea of me hosting a tournament. So hopefully we can get this going. Not really sure. I do have a relatively busy schedule, but I'm hoping to have it running sometime next week on a weekday. So if you guys could please let me know what time would work best for you guys. Let me know in Eastern Standard Time Zone if you guys can. So if you just go to Google and then you search it up, you should easily be able to convert your time to Eastern Standard Time Zone, just so I have a good idea of when would actually be an appropriate time to host it. Again, if you can't make it, that's absolutely fine. I'll still be giving out some of the booster packs in another way. And if this tournament ultimately doesn't end up happening just because of a lot of scheduling conflicts or anything like that, I'll just be having a giveaway some other reason. Hopefully I'll update you guys a little bit more with respects to that on my next video. So again, do let me know in the comment section down below, especially if you're interested in participating. Your feedback is important to me, just so that I can hopefully schedule it on an appropriate day. And I will let you guys know more about this on the next video. Hopefully something does get worked out. If not, I'm just going to have a giveaway some other way. So yeah, so that's it guys with respects to the giveaway. So I'm gonna go and talk about the deck that we're taking a look at today. The deck is going to revolve around our Eevee. We're going to be using the one with the Energy Evolutions ability. So the beauty about this is that if we actually attach a specific basic energy to our Eevee, we can actually choose an evolution of that exact type. So if we were, for example, to attach a fire energy to our Eevee, we can go and look for a fire evolution of Eevee. So namely speaking, in this case, we can go and look for a Flareon. So definitely works quite nice. So we're running quite a bit of variability with our energies. We're going to be running a grass energy in case we need to grab out our Leafeon. We're going to be running 2 thunder energies in case we need to grab out our Jolteon, 3 psychics in case we need to grab out our Espeon, and then 2 water energies in case we need to use our Vaporeon. Again, the psychics, the reason that we're actually running so many is because we may use it with our Deoxys EX, and the reason that we're actually running a single Leaf energy is just to grab out our Leafeon, because we're most likely not going to be using his Leaf Blade attack. It's just to evolve our Eevee into the Leafeon right away in case we need to, because Leafeon is probably going to be one of the main attackers in our deck, just because his Energy Crush attack is very, very viable and quite powerful, especially if our opponent's Pokemon have a lot of energies attached to them. So let's go and briefly discuss the evolutions that we're running. We're going to be running 2 Leafeons, just discussed him. We're going to be running 1 Espeon. We're most likely going to be using his Psy Alert attack just to allow us to draw some extra cards, and he's also quite good with respects to using his Shadow Ball attack and sniping off our opponent's bench Pokemon. So that's where Espeon comes in handy. A neat little evolution, so definitely does have its uses, but again, depending on the situation and depending on the opponent's Pokemon that we're encountering, we're going to be using different evolutions. We're going to be maximizing on actually dishing out the maximum amount of damage to our opponent's Pokemon, and hopefully we're going to be targeting their weaknesses. So for example, if we're facing an Yveltal EX, we're going to go right ahead and grab out a Jolteon. Jolteon's quite nice in that his Electro Diffuse attack prevents our opponent's defending EX Pokemon from actually attacking us. So that's quite nice. Definitely does have its uses. So we're going to be running 1 copy of him. We're also going to be running 2 Vaporeons, most likely going to be one of the prime attackers in our deck, just because he's very, very solid Pokemon with his Gold Breaker attack, especially if we're encountering an EX Pokemon. For example, a Pokemon like Landorus EX, our Vaporeon would pretty much be able to perform the 1-hit knockout on him. So definitely quite nice. So we are going to be running 2 copies of him. We're also going to be running 1 Flareon, sort of a last resort type Pokemon. He's only going to be useful if we actually do have a lot of our Eevees or any of our other evolutions into our discard pile. Otherwise, we're most likely not going to be using Flareon. Again, we're going to be using our Pokemon depending on the situation and depending on what would actually be the best course of action to take. Just to help our Eevees dish out more damage, we're going to be running 4 Deoxys EXs with its power connectability, just allowing us to do an additional 10 damage per Deoxys EX in our bench. So definitely going to work nicely. Again, if we can target those weaknesses, we'll be able to get a bunch of solid 1-hit knockouts, hopefully at least one after the other. So Deoxys EX is definitely nice, so we are going to be running 4 copies of him. And of course we have some extra psychic energies in case we actually do need to attack with our Deoxys EX, and of course 4 plasma energies, because we are going to be ultimately running two Colress machines in our deck. The ace spec that I've chosen to run in this deck, guys, is going to be the computer search. Just felt like it was nice. It's going to be crucial to get the exact cards that we need and hopefully target our opponent's weaknesses, so that's why I ultimately went with the computer search as our ace spec card. We're also going to be running one Professor's Letter. Quite nice in that we can go ahead and grab out a specific energy type from our deck, and then we can evolve our Eevee into that set type. So definitely works quite nice. So we are going to be running a single copy of that, and we're also going to be running two Skylas just to allow us to grab for those Professor's Letters or those Colress or anything like that in case we actually do need them. We're going to be running one Starling Megaphone to get rid of our opponent's tool attachments. We don't really see a lot of Garbodor matchups nowadays. Definitely seems to be a declining Pokemon, so I felt like one Starling Megaphone would have been more than enough. And not to mention the fact that our deck is relatively tightly built, so I felt like one should be more than enough. We're going to be running two switches, a self-explanatory card. We're going to be running two Team Plasma Balls. This allows us to look for any of our Team Plasma Pokemon from our deck and then bring them into our hand. So it works better than the Ultra Ball in that we don't need to discard any cards. Normally I would be running a total of 4 Team Plasma Balls, but unfortunately our Eevee with the Energy Evolutions ability is not a Team Plasma Pokemon, so we do need some Ultra Balls for that. So that's ultimately why we are going to be running 2 copies of Ultra Ball. We're going to be running 2 VS Seekers, a relatively standard card, doesn't need any explanation. Some of our supporters are going to be 2 Colress, 2 Lysanders, one Lysander's trump card. Going to briefly talk about this. So the reason for that is that in case we actually do need to shuffle our Eeveelutions back into our deck, I ultimately decided that a Lysander's trump card would work quite nicely. You guys may actually want to replace that with a Sacred Ash, but I felt like given the prevalence of actually encountering Seismitoad EX type decks, Lysander's trump card may actually be more useful in the game. So that's ultimately why I chose this over Sacred Ash. Of course, you guys can play that around because Sacred Ash is another nice card, and again, it's not a supporter card, so it would not waste your supporter for that turn. But ultimately, my decision was to include this as opposed to the Sacred Ash in our deck. Some other supporter cards that we're running, guys, is we're going to be running 4 Ends, 4 Junipers, and I've discussed the 2 Skylas. We're going to be running 2 Frozen City Stadium cards. It just works quite nicely in that we are running a lot of Team Plasma Pokemon, and if our opponent's Pokemon do actually do some extra damage to themselves, it's going to allow us to hopefully perform those knockouts more easily. So that's why I have actually included Frozen City. Definitely a nice stadium card and definitely works quite well with our deck. We're also going to be running 2 Muscle Bands, a relatively self-explanatory card, 1 Silver Bangle, just to allow us, because we're running quite a few non-EX type Pokemon, just to allow us to dish out that 10 extra damage. Could definitely make the difference between us performing the knockout or not, so I felt like it was a nice card to include. And that is the basic deck breakdown, guys. So let's go right ahead and see what this bad boy can do. Do want to mention though that I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a competitive deck. It's sort of more of a fun type deck. So yeah, I mean, if our opponent is running a very solid type of deck, we're probably not going to be, unfortunately, able to win. Just putting that right off the bat. I mean, against an Yveltal EX type deck, we're definitely going to have a lot of trouble unless we can sort of capitalize off of our opponent's weaknesses. And okay, so just thinking, should I actually start off with the Eevee? I'm actually going to start off by placing the Deoxys EX. Don't want to get our Eevee knocked out in the first turn. I mean, it definitely is possible. So I feel like I'm going to keep him in our bench just for now. And okay, it looks like our opponent is running a Klefki. Okay, not a fairy type Pokemon that you see all that often, but definitely very powerful against reducing Yveltal EX's damage. So it could actually be pretty smart choice of Pokemon for our opponent. And okay, so hopefully we can get our Deoxys EX going and our Eevees evolved as well. Not actually going to evolve them yet. And okay, awesome. So it looks like our opponent ends us. So I think that works out quite favorably for us. And I'm probably going to have to use the Juniper on our turn. And I'll be using the Team Plasma Ball to actually go ahead and grab ourselves out another Deoxys EX. So let's go and do that. Okay, I'm going to place the Eevee down for now. Place the Frozen City just to get rid of our opponent's Stadium card. I'm going to be using the Team Plasma Ball to actually grab ourselves out a Deoxys EX. Okay, just thinking whether or not I should actually evolve our Pokemon. Espeon would be a relatively good choice And Leafeon, I definitely think, is another solid Pokemon. So you know what? I'm actually going to go right ahead and evolve. Unfortunately, we can't capitalize on our opponent's Steel weakness just because he is running a Fairy type deck. So okay, why? Oh right, sorry, I just placed the Eevee down. Okay, so it's fine. We're going to be discarding it, but it's okay. Leafeon was the more valuable Pokemon, at least in my opinion, in this situation anyways. So let's go and place another Eevee down. I'm going to go and grab ourselves out a Psychic Energy. And I think I'm actually going to go right ahead and grab ourselves a Water Energy as well, because I do want to have a Vaporeon, because our opponent is probably going to be running a whole lot of EX Pokemon, so I feel like that's going to be nice. So let's go and attach a Psychic Energy to our Deoxys EX. Gonna use these, should I actually use the Sterling Megaphone? No, because the Florges EX actually can't attack right now anyways. And let's go and grab ourselves another Deoxys EX in our bench. Okay, so we have 3 in total, and we have 2 spare evolutions that we can actually evolve on our turn. So let's go right ahead and hit for 30 damage, and it's going to be our opponent's turn. Hopefully, if he does actually bring out a Spritzy, I can knock him out nice and early. Don't want him to evolve. That energy shuffling is definitely going to be troublesome for us. And I feel like our opponent... Okay, so it looks like he's going to end us once again. So that's fine. I don't actually think Jolteon would be a very viable evolution at the moment. I definitely do think another Leafeon might be useful, so I may just use the Grass Energy to grab ourselves another Leafeon, and hopefully I can get rid of our opponent's Pokemon. And I'm assuming he's probably going to look for that Spritzy, but unfortunately I would not be able to knock him out just yet, because our... Actually no, sorry, I would, because I do have the Muscle Band. Okay, nice, so that's absolutely what I'm going to do before the Spritzy becomes a troubling Pokemon for us. So, okay, so I'll be getting rid of that Spritzy next turn, and hopefully it'll be a relatively smooth sailing for us from here on. So let's go and attach a Leaf Energy to grab out another Leafeon. Okay, awesome, and let's go and drag out that Spritzy and take our first prize card. Okay, and let's see what we got. And a Juniper. Okay, nice. So I'm probably going to be using that. Unfortunately, we may just have to discard our Eevee, but we're probably going to be using the Ultra Ball as well to grab ourselves out a Vaporeon. I feel like that would be a pretty good choice at the moment, just because our opponent's probably going to be running quite a few EX Pokemon in his deck. And it looks like he's actually going to bring out 2 Spritzys this time. Definitely does want to get his Aromatisse line going. Hopefully I can get rid of that Florges EX before he becomes too troubling of a Pokemon himself as well. And okay, it looks like our opponent actually didn't have any energy, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. Should I use the N? No, I think a Juniper would be a better option at the moment. Don't want to help our opponent draw some more cards, so that's why I'm ultimately doing that. So let's go and grab ourselves a Vaporeon and place... Actually, how many... unfortunately, I can't actually check how many Pokemon we do have in our discard pile. It's okay, I don't think it should be too many, so I feel like Vaporeon would definitely be the better option right now. Just taking a look. Okay, so only 3 Pokemon, yeah, so Flareon definitely would not have been a smart option. Let's go and use the Lysander. Okay, sorry, the Juniper, and okay, I'm gonna go and attach a Psychic Energy to our Deoxys EX. I'm gonna use the Colress machine to attach a Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX as well, because looks like that was one of the last ones that we actually do have in our deck. So let's go and hit our opponent's Florges EX for 80 damage, and it looks like it's going to be our opponent's turn. So depending on the situation, I may just bring out one of our Eeveelutions and hopefully start dishing out some more damage. If our opponent does have a max potion, definitely going to be quite troubling for us. I'm assuming his Florges EX is finally going to be able to start putting out some damage. Again, really hoping that our opponent does not have the max potion, and hopefully we can... I mean, we do have a nice early lead at the moment, and let me just see, how many energies does our opponent have? Okay, I'm probably going to drag out that Florges EX and perform the knockout on him regardless. So that retreat wouldn't be particularly useful. Just thinking, if our opponent has... Okay, if our opponent has... okay, I may actually knock out the Aromatisse on our turn. So I may just use the switch to bring out our Leafeon and then perform the knockout on our opponent's Aromatisse. Because his Xerneas is going to be using the Geomancy, and he's going to look for 2 energies. Thinking though, would that be a wiser option right now, or actually getting rid of the Florges EX? Okay, so he did drag out enough energies for us to perform the knockout on our opponent's Aromatisse. Again, I'm really trying to think right now. Would that be a better option, or should I actually knock out his Florges EX right now and draw 2 prize cards? you know what? I think for now I'm actually gonna go and get rid of that Florges EX. Hopefully it's not a decision that I regret later on, because I mean he could absolutely evolve his other Spritzy as well, and I do want to take the 2 prize cards before he actually does max potion his Pokemon. And let's go and attach a Psychic Energy to our Deoxys EX. Definitely is nice that we are loading him up in case our opponent brings out some Pokemon with a lot of energy attached to them. I definitely do think our Eevees are probably going to be seeing a fair amount of action on their own as well, though, because opponent's Pokemon are going to come off hard on us. But I'm probably going to be using the VS Seeker on our turn and hopefully get rid of that Aromatisse next turn using our Leafeon. Again, our opponent has more than enough energies, and we do have the Deoxys EXs with the Power Connect ability just to allow us to dish out some more damage. So, okay, definitely going to be switching and getting rid of that Aromatisse for now. So let's go right ahead and bring in our Leafeon, use the VS Seeker to grab the Lysander. I'm going to go and attach another Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX. Again, never know when he may actually come in handy. And let's go and get rid of that Aromatisse using the Energy Crush attack for 130 damage and drawing onto a prize card. So, okay, so this deck is performing very, very well right now. And I don't foresee our opponent being able to make a comeback. He hasn't actually been able to draw a single prize card right now. And our Leafeons are coming in hard now that our opponent does actually have a lot of energies attached to them. Probably going to be using the Colress on our next turn just to try and power up our Vaporeon, because our Vaporeon would be able to absolutely destroy our opponent's Florges EX, I think. So just calculating the amount of damage we would actually deal right now. So 80, 100, okay, actually not enough damage, unfortunately, at the moment, and he doesn't have any energy attachments to him, so maybe using the Leafeon at the moment instead. We'll see how things go. Our opponent's definitely thinking right now, but he will be able to knock out our Leafeon in his turn. So I'm gonna go and bring out our own Leafeon for now, and I'll be dishing out quite a bit of damage. Okay, thinking our opponent's wasting some time right now and trying to think what he should actually do. And I think he may have actually quit, or let's see what the situation is. And yes, looks like he has actually quit. Let's go and find ourselves another opponent, guys. You guys did not see the Eevees in action as much as I would have actually liked it to, so let's go and find ourselves another opponent. Hopefully where Deoxys EX is not going to be the main attacker. Definitely do want you guys to see the deck in action the way it was meant to be. So let's see. Okay, so it looks like our opponent's going to start first. I didn't actually get a close look to see at what type of deck he's running. So let's see. Okay, so I'm assuming it's another fairy type deck. Okay, awesome. And okay, so it looks like we start off with Eevee and a few evolutions. Probably going to have to end our hand down. May just bring out the Jolteon, but let's see what would actually be the wisest choice right now. Just trying to think. And okay, our opponents bring out a Kangaskhan EX. So yeah, definitely a full-blown fairy type deck. I'm assuming we're probably going to be seeing some Xerneases and things like that. Not sure why he just didn't start with the Xerneas. And okay, so I'm gonna go and evolve our Eevee into the Jolteon, and then I'm going to go and end for some new cards in our hand. Unfortunately, the Electric Diffuse attack wouldn't be all that great. I feel like it would be a bit of a waste. We may actually be dishing out some more damage with our Pin Missile, so let's go and end our hand for some new cards right now. Let's go and grab ourselves a Deoxys EX. Okay, place him down. Gonna go and attach a Muscle Band to him, and actually gonna go and get rid of our, sorry, did I actually use an N? Yes, okay, yes I did, just wanted to make sure. So let's go and get rid of our Flareon and a Switch as well to grab ourselves an Eevee, so hopefully we can get another line going. And it looks like a lot of our Eevees are actually prized. Okay, so that's not good. Hopefully we can grab them out nice and early and dish out the maximum amount of damage. So let's go and use that Pin Missile and dish out 70 damage, so quite nice. So I mean, for a single energy, we're already hitting for 70 damage, so definitely nice. Again, the Eeveelutions decks get running very, very quickly. But again, looks like we actually have two of our Eevees prized, so hopefully we're able to grab onto them as soon as we get a couple of knockouts. And looks like our opponent's probably going to be grabbing out his Spritzies right now, so hopefully I can get rid of those nice and early as well before our opponent can repeatedly shuffle around his energies. And yes, so there we do see the Spritzy and get the get the max potions and things like that, because then it just becomes very, very troubling for us to actually deal with. I'm assuming he's probably going to bring out his Kangaskhan EX, and no, okay, so he's actually going to be using another Geomancy attack, so hopefully we will be able to get rid of our Xerneas right now. And okay, so it looks like we've drawn to the end, so luckily we can save that VS Seeker for later, so let's go and use that end for some new cards. Awesome. Okay, so gonna place the Frozen City Stadium down for now. Thinking, should I actually grab out the Vaporeon right now? Or I could grab out our Espeon as well. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually thinking that I should grab out the Espeon. We may be in need of his Psy Alert attack just to draw in some cards later on. So gonna place him down for now. And let's go and hopefully knock out our opponent's Xerneas. And awesome, looks like we just got the knockout. So okay, we're drawing for one prize card. And looks like the Kangaskhan EX is going to come out and unfortunately perform the knockout on us. And at least he's taking a bit of damage from our Frozen City. But unfortunately we took some as well because our Eevee was not a Team Plasma Pokemon. But now he is, so if we do attach any more energies to him, we won't be taking any more damage. So that's quite nice. And okay, looks like our opponent's going to end our hand. Hopefully we do draw onto some of our Eevees, because looks like we may be in a bit of a sticky situation if we actually don't manage to draw onto any. Okay, so I'm going to go and use the Colress machine to attach a Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX, and definitely not going to attach the Water Energy. That would be completely useless. I'm thinking, should I actually use the N? Yes, I think the N would be a better option at this moment. We're both going to draw onto 5 cards. Colress would only let me 4, and I desperately need another Psychic Energy. Awesome, looks like we got the Professor's Letter, so let's go right ahead and grab out, I guess, 2 Psychic Energies for now, and hopefully we can get rid of that Mega Kangaskhan EX on our next turn when we do actually bring out our Deoxys. Should I use the Shadow Ball attack? Yes, I don't think drawing one more card is going to be all that useful, so let's go and use Shadow Ball and hit our opponent's Kangaskhan EX for 50 damage, I believe. Yes, 50 damage. But unfortunately, he will be able to get rid of our Espeon in his turn. But hopefully, we'll be able to get rid of him on our turn with our Deoxys EX. Again, really hoping that we do draw onto some of our prize cards. Hopefully, our opponent doesn't actually have the Max Potion either, because that would definitely be something that I don't like. And okay, looks like the Sigilif is actually coming out. And unfortunately, our Pokemon does have Psychic weakness, so he will be able to knock us out. And our Deoxys EX does not have enough, I mean, our opponent's Kangaskhan EX does not have enough damage to actually get rid of him at the moment. Okay, so, thinking what we should do right now. I could absolutely retreat our Deoxys EX and then get rid of that Espeon, but then our opponent's Kangaskhan EX would actually be getting rid of our Pokemon. So yeah, but I definitely think that's the wisest choice right now, because we would not be able to perform the knockout on our opponent's Kangaskhan EX regardless. So let's go and retreat him to bring out our Espeon. Our Espeon will definitely be able to perform the one-hit knockout on our opponent's Sigilif. Not sure if he actually did the wisest choice. I think it would have been wiser if he knocked out our Espeon, and then our Deoxys EX would not have been able to dish out any damage on our opponent's Sigilif. So let's go and attach the Psychic Energy to our Deoxys EX, which is unfortunately on the verge of that. I'm going to use the Skyla for a Colress machine for now, and I'm most likely going to be using the Juniper on our next turn. So let's go and use the Colress machine to attach an energy to him. I'm going to have to use the Shadow Ball attack to knock out that Sigilif, and really hoping for us for, yes, and it looks like we are able to grab onto one of our Eevees, so that's quite nice. And I will be able to grab out the Vaporeon, which is our evolution that's able to dish out the most amount of damage to our opponent's EX Pokemon, so definitely quite happy about that. And okay, so again, not the greatest situation right now. Our opponent has drawn into some Super Potions. I'm assuming he probably just doesn't have the funds to actually get a Max Potion, because I mean, Max Potion, absolutely the better choice of card that you would want to be using any Fairy type deck. I mean, a Super Potion doesn't make a lot of sense, of course, unless you're not able to yet afford it. Okay, so let's go and place down our Eevee and another Deoxys EX. Our Deoxys EXs are pretty much useless now because we have given up all of our Psychic Energies, unless we actually do use the Lysander's Trump card. Gonna attach the Water Energy to our Eevee to grab out a Vaporeon. And no, don't really think dragging out any of our opponent's Pokemon is going to be all that useful. So let's go on Juniper for some new cards in our hand. And how much damage would I actually be able to do? 120 damage, still not enough. Gonna save the Muscle Band for our Vaporeon. So let's go and hit our opponent with the Helix Force attack for 120 damage. Hoping we can make a comeback, guys. Unfortunately, our EVs were prized, so really hoping we can come out from that. And our opponent definitely does have the advantage, and looks like he's going to bring out a Suicune. I mean, I would want to get rid of him, but unfortunately a Gold Breaker attack would only be dishing out 30 damage to a Suicune, because it's the most effective against our opponent's Fairy type Pokemon. And okay, looks like the other Kangaskhan EX is coming out, so definitely we'll bring out our Vaporeon, and really hoping that we can make a comeback, guys. But definitely does not look like the greatest situation for us at the moment. So let's see. So it looks like our Deoxys EX is unfortunately going to die. Our opponent's using the Sacred Ash. Again, a relatively useful card. We may have considered using it in our deck as well. But again, with the Lysander's Trump card, we would actually get the energy cycling as well. So that's definitely something else to consider. So okay, it looks like our opponent is going to go right ahead and get rid of our Deoxys EX and draw into 2 prize cards. Going to bring out the Vaporeon for now and attach the Lightning Energy to him. Place down our Deoxys EX, yes, absolutely. And I'm going to go in Juniper. Okay, so yes, I'm going to go right ahead and use the Starling Megaphone as well. So 170 damage, our Eeveelution would only be dishing out 100 damage at the moment. I'm gonna attach the Muscle Band to him for now, I suppose, and let's go right ahead and hit our opponent's Kangaskhan EX for 120 damage. Again, unfortunately not enough, but I mean, there's no way our opponent could actually perform the one-hit knockout on us this turn, even if he were to actually drag out any of our Deoxys EXs. So again, really hoping that we can make a comeback, but the situation's looking relatively quite grim right now. And okay, it looks like our opponent's going to bring out his Xerneas. May just use the VS Seeker to knock out our opponent's Kangaskhan EX and actually grab onto our Lysanders. So yeah, that's most likely going to be the card that I'm going to be using. Hopefully he doesn't actually max potion off his Pokemon. Not something I would like, but I mean, he would actually need to grab onto 2 of those to fully heal his Kangaskhan EXs. And again, I feel like our opponent's just running Super Potion instead. So I don't think he actually can max potion his Pokemon completely. So that's definitely something quite nice. And using the Starling Megaphone, we did prevent our opponent from possibly performing the one-hit knockout on us if he was able to flip a heads using his Kingdra Kick attack. And luckily our Vaporeon survives with a mere 10 HP, so definitely quite happy about that. Gonna go and use the VS Seeker for now. I'm actually, no, sorry, I would want to use the Lysander's Trump card, but of course we want to get rid of our opponent's Pokemon right now. So let's go and use the VS Seeker, and hopefully we're able to grab onto our last evolution, because we can't attack using our Deoxys EXs right now because we have given up all of our psychic energies. So I may have to use the Lysander's Trump card and then use the computer search to grab out any cards we need. So let's go and get rid of the Kangaskhan EX that has slightly more HP and perform the knockout on him and draw onto 2 prize cards. Awesome, looks like we've gotten our other EV. So but still, the fact that they were a prize definitely has given us a lot of trouble. Hopefully we don't actually get end down to a single card. Definitely not something I would be too pleased about. But just thinking, I mean, our opponent's Xerneas with its Rainbow Spear attack would be able to perform the one-hit knockout on a lot of our evolutions. So unfortunately, the Leafeon wouldn't be particularly useful right now. Definitely will be bringing out the Deoxys EX for now, and I will have to use the Lysander's Trump card. So yeah, definitely going to be the card I'm using. I'm actually not going to place our Eevee down right now. Don't want him to get dragged out by a Lysander and then the one-hit knockout performed on us. So let's go and use the Lysander's Trump card. Shuffle up all of our cards back into our deck once again. Gonna go and attach the Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX for now. And yes, and with that, no, actually, yes, actually, I will go and attach the Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX, and with that, we will end our turn. Again, this is a very, very tight game right now. Looks like it can go either way. We do have the Switch in our hand as well, so can absolutely use that. Okay, so we have 100 HP, so that Xerneas could be performing the knockout on us. So I'm going to be switching into our other Deoxys EX. Okay, if I was to go and get rid of our cards, really racking my brain right now, guys, as to what would be the best choice. Okay, if I was... Alright, I think I'm going to use the Skyla for a professor's letter. So yes, I think that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's go and use the professor's letter to attach a psychic energy to our Pokemon, and hopefully I'll catch our opponent off guard next turn by using the computer search to drag out his Mega Kangaskhan. Sorry, his Kangaskhan EX. No, but then we need the Muscle Band. Okay, I'm really torn as to what we should do right now. Hopefully something does work out though, and hopefully we are able to make a comeback. I may have to place our Eevee down next turn and then evolve him into the Vaporeon, and then switch our Deoxys EX out. But because I mean our Vaporeon does have 110 HP, so he would be able to survive an attack from our opponent's Xerneas. I mean the only way we'd be able to win on our next turn is if we actually were able to grab onto a Muscle Band, drag out that Kangaskhan EX, and then perform the knockout on him. But other than that, we're really hoping for the best right now. Again, not the greatest situation right now. At least we would be able to use our Vaporeon's first attack, allowing us to heal our Pokemon for up to 30 HP. So I mean that's kind of nice, but again, a very sticky situation that we are in at the moment. Okay, so let's see what our opponent's actually thinking right now. Definitely will be forced to use our computer search on our turn. So let's see. Okay, so not the card that I wanted. The Kangaskhan EX is still alive and well. So okay, I'm gonna go and get rid of our Leafeon and our Plasma Energy, I suppose. Yeah, so let's go and get rid of that Plasma Energy as well. Gonna go and grab out a Switch or a Colress machine just to be able to retreat our Deoxys EX. So okay, it looks like it's going to be the Colress machine for now, so let's go and use that to attach a Plasma Energy to our Deoxys EX, place an Eevee down, and evolve him into the Vaporeon. Gonna go and use the Colress, get some new cards in our hand, place down a Frozen City, and then retreat our Deoxys EX. If our opponent does have the Lysander, unfortunately guys, it is going to be game for us. So let's go and use the Refreshing Rain. Actually, yes, sorry, the Refreshing Rain attack. Completely forgot about it. So okay, so our Deoxys EXs would be able to survive another blow as long as they don't I don't know, there's no way that he could actually perform the one-hit knockout on us. So that's quite nice. But our Vaporeon definitely is in trouble as well, just because our opponent, I mean our Gold Breaker attack would only be able to dish out 30 damage to our opponent Suicune. Hopefully we're able to grab onto a Lysander or something. Again, this is a very tight game right now. It really could go either way, so let's see how things go. Probably have to use our Professor Juniper on the next turn. And okay, so okay, so we do have a switch. I could evolve our Eevee again. Yes, so let's go and evolve our Eevee into the other Vaporeon, which can survive an attack. And going to switch into this Vaporeon for now. Gonna go and use the Juniper. Hopefully we're able to draw onto a Colress machine, unless I've used both. And no, okay, so I've only used one, so let's go and use the Juniper. And awesome, looks like we do have another Colress machine. 30, not enough damage, unfortunately. Let's grab out our final Deoxys EX, so an additional 40 damage, 30. Again, not enough to knock out our opponent's Suicune, unfortunately. But we may still be able to win. Again, a very long and arduous game. And if our opponent does have the Lysander, unfortunately, we will lose. But nonetheless, this has been a very good game right now. And okay, it looks like we are going to lose, guys. So good game. And unfortunately, we get Lysandered for the loss. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And again, let me know in the comments section down below what times would work best for you guys with respects to an incoming tournament. And thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.